Part 2, Episode 191.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy. Thank you for tuning in if this is your first time. And welcome back if you're a repeat viewer. I almost said a repeat offender.
Well, we could be considered repeat offenders.
Offender. Welcome back, repeat offenders.
So, just a couple of shout-outs. We're still doing the Tousle hat
contest
for the pattern.
Sponsored by Punky Eclectic. Punky Brewster Eclectic. Sponsored by Spunky Eclectic. I love how you can see the spot on my shirt. Like, it was totally not visible.
But you can't see it when I'm looking at it right here.
No, it's only visible in this light. Just try to ignore it, everybody. Spunky Eclectic is sponsoring the hat because the creator of Spunky Eclectic, Amy King, designed the hat pattern, and 2 people are going to win the PDF, and 1 lucky person is going to win the PDF and the yarn.
Yay.
And this is a hat that you can make. That's what it looks like. Only mine is not as slouchy as hers because I did a
She didn't listen
error.
to pattern. Shame.
I know. Amy sent me this yarn to make the hat. This is in her yarn. It's really beautiful, and I totally screwed up by not checking my gauge. Bad knitter.
Bad.
Also, we are going to be doing our January knit-along. Thank you for participating in the thread. We loved all the ideas so much that we're going to keep that thread open and use it for inspiration for the rest of the year. So if you come up with more ideas, put them in the thread.
And the idea that we chose for this month of January, something simple, is color.
Yeah.
So when you're knitting with something, we chose red, yellow, or orange. Any of those 3 colors in the project. It's going to be like the main color, more of the majority of the color. We were hoping for something warm.
This is
it's really cold in a lot of the U.S. right now, and red, yellow, or orange reminds you
or
of
like
summer,
hot
spring.
pink, or any kind of a permutation of a warm color.
Red, yellow, orange.
Hot pink is a red.
I don't know. Hot pink.
Hot pink is a red.
Hot pink is pink. I don't know.
Well, pink is a warm color. See?
I know, but let's keep it simple for those who, like me, who need boundaries. Red, yellow, or orange.
Or pink. Pink, red, yellow, or orange.
Pink, red, yellow, orange.
Whoops. This is an example of something that is primarily, or has a major red, yellow, and orange theme.
We're not going to put like percentage, but it's got a majority of, it's got all 3 colors, really. But
and it's a big part of it. This would be another example.
It looks, pink, I guess.
It's hot pink. It's
more
red.
of a red. Bring it up closer, maybe.
Again, this is it's
no
flies.
wonder why. You got 2 light bulbs out.
Oh, yeah. But this again, it has green in it, but there's a significant portion of it that's pink, red, orange, or yellow.
Yeah.
So that's what you can be guided by.
And this will run through the month of January, correct?
This would not qualify because this is not a warm color.
It's got no red, yellow, or pink, or orange in it. Mine wouldn't qualify either. So that's what we're doing. It's for the month of January. We'll end it, and we'll look at something else for next month.
Yeah, we'll look at something else. We were thinking maybe a new technique might be one that we pick for next month.
We liked that
idea. If you have more ideas, put them in the thread because there are a ton of good ideas in there, and we're just going to keep using that as inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was great.
So
is that all for shout-outs? So on the dance card, I go first today. I have... Hold your hats. I have 2 things on the needle. Actively on the needle. So last week...
Hold your hats?
I don't know.
Is this the thing that you said weird before?
Probably.
Hold on to your hats.
I don't know.
Hold your hats.
So anyways, I started Easy by
Martina Behm.
I started Easy by Martina Behm last week. I think I was actually on... here, or was it afterwards? I think it might have been afterwards because...
I don't know. You started it sometime last week.
And it's out of Gypsy Girls Transitions yarn in the color Peony. And so I really love how this is coming out. I'm hoping, and I'm sure it will. We'll have to see Wendy's. I have like 100 more rows to go back and forth, so I'm really hoping I get back into the green. I better. Because I didn't go exactly half, because it says to go half. and I didn't because I didn't want to push it on the other. I don't know.
I ended up. I'll talk about it when I.
So, anyways, I'm hoping I get more of the green, and
all my yarn either.
I'm hoping that whatever green I have left, because I started green on the bottom, went up to red. It is a red. It's pinkish red. And then I started the pink, and I'm going to go back down to green, and I'm hoping I have enough to make tassels. I've seen a couple with tassels that look really nice, and I really like this. It's a simple knit.
Yeah,
I like the
enjoyed
decreases. The only thing, and I don't know about yours, we'll have to compare it. So what
There's a good side and a bad side.
There is. So this is what it looks like when you're going back. It's a 3 together.
Knit 3 together.
But I didn't do purl 3.
Oh, purl 3 together.
It says to slip. I don't want to give it away, but I didn't do what it said to do.
Oh, you didn't?
It says to slip knitwise. I didn't. I slipped it purlwise. And I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It was just easier for me to purl.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
So anyways, I don't think it makes that much of a difference because I did actually start doing it purlwise. Then I realized what I was doing and I switched it to knit. There was a slight difference, but I liked the purl and I thought the purl was a little bit more stretchier. But we'll compare it to see what she did. Anyways, this is one thing that's on the needles, and I'm excited to get it. I was able to make this much progress because I was off from work last week.
Yay!
I didn't knit, so I started work again on Saturday. I think I knitted a little bit. I didn't knit Monday. What's today? Wednesday? Tuesday?
Today is Wednesday.
I don't think I knit Sunday or Monday. I knit yesterday because, again, I was off. So it's amazing how much you can actually get done when you're not working.
It is amazing.
So that's one project that I have on the needles. The second project I have on the needles was inspired by our current temperatures outside.
Yeah.
So yesterday, because I wasn't working, was my duty to get up with the boys and get them off to school. Well, Max has this hat that I made. I figured it's got to be like
2 or 3 years ago at least.
I made one for myself in 2008. I didn't like it. I ripped it out. It's the Cool Haas hat.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that was longer ago.
It was. It was like 2008 or 2009. I made him a bright orange Cool Haas.
Yeah, he still wears that.
He still wears it. So I ask him every year, do you want a new hat? No. Okay. So I was looking for a hat for Zachary. Now I know I have some. I have some in army color somewhere. I don't know where they are. So I decided to cast one on yesterday, and I'm like, I can finish it. If I chose a simple hat, I absolutely would have finished it.
Oh, but yeah, you knit the lined hat.
I'm knitting the lined beanie by Heather Kin.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce
she
it.
She is Heather of Highland Handmaids.
Pootress Babe from Highland Handmaids. So this is what it will look like when it's done. Super simple, easy. I'm knitting it out of my leftover from the sock. It's nice and squishy. I can't wait till I finish it. I'm hoping to finish it tonight so that he'll have something to wear tomorrow.
What is the name of that pattern again?
It's called Lined Beanie. And it calls for worsted weight. It says US 5. I'm knitting it on US 7. I cast on, I want to say 96 stitches, which for US 7 or 8, that's a fairly typical cast on for an adultish head.
Yeah.
I tried it on my hat, which is fine. It will fit fine. It will be interesting to see how it looks because there's really no ribbing on the right here. But I like how it looks. And
yeah, I think it looks pretty.
It's really super warm. I think this will be perfect. The only thing I'm concerned about him is where he's got hearing aids, whether or not it will
cover his ears.
Cause feedback.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
One of his hearing aids is broken. The tube is broken. It's ripped. So we have an appointment not until the 23rd. I might have to bring that in earlier to get it fixed. But so we'll see. So I'm hoping to have this finished. If I do finish this tonight for him tomorrow, I can't guarantee I'll have it for next week. It'll depend on the temperatures.
Well, just take a picture of it.
Yeah, I will. So I'm excited about it.
Well, that's good.
I like it. It's nice and mindless. Not that this isn't mindless, but this is really mindless.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is I'm knitting and changing colors.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that's all I have on the needles.
I only have one thing on the needles. I am still working on my Jeck socks in Desert Vista Dye Works second helping colorway. This is what the finished sock looks like because I have one sock done. I love the Jeck pattern. It's free and it's just so subtle, but I think it's just enough to keep the knitting interesting. And I like the muted rainbow colors of this yarn. I think they're really pretty.
See when you're done.
I am very close to being done. I am on the leg. I like to knit the leg as long as the toe, so I have about 3.5 inches left to knit before I do my ribbing. I usually do about an inch of ribbing. So I haven't gotten a lot of work done on this, though, because I've been madly trying to finish up my cross-stitch project before January 15th.
Which is what, next Friday?
Yeah. I think I'm going to make it, but
good.
I got to get it done. So, yeah, this is all I have on the needles for knitting this week. I was going to cast on the Christmas stockings, but I want this project to be done before I started. I'm trying not to have an abundance of whips this year. I'm trying to hone down my whips. I don't mind having 2 or 3 things going, but I don't like the situation where things get sidelined and then I forget about them.
Right.
And then I don't feel like knitting them when it's time to go back. It's just a whole thing. So, yep, this is it. I'm still working on it.
Oh.
And that's all I have on the dance card.
Rate your dates. I've got nothing to rate. Maybe next week I'll have 2. Who knows? I got this weekend off.
I have a date. I finished my Easy by Martina Behm. Wearing it. And I did this in, what is it called? Zoberball.
I was going to say,
Shupplewool Zoberball in the Brumbier colorway. You can see.
That's the back side. I guess. I don't know.
That's the back side. This is the front side. Yeah, I don't like the...
oh, well, I suppose it's preference. All right, finish it. Go ahead.
So I had 97...
I like how you blocked it.
I didn't block it.
Did you soak it or no?
No, I didn't do anything
Oh,
to
all right,
it.
because it's curvy, kind of.
I know. I don't know why mine came out curvy. Everyone else's looked pointy, but mine came out curvy. I don't know what I did. I was going to say I wove the ends in, but I didn't have time to block it or do anything. Long. It is nice and long. I like it. And I like the way most of this did not have a lot of, for a Zoberball, this did not have a lot of color changes
it really
in it.
Didn't.
It's mostly,
well, they're dark colors too.
Purple. But I like how I got this big stripe here. And then these stripes like this, I think it kind of looks nice when you wrap it around. It's got some, like, transitions or whatever. I like how mine came out very curvy. I had 97, my Zoberball was 97 grams. I don't know, some of it I might have, like, cut off when I was doing that other project. Right. I don't know. But I weighed it, and it was 97 grams. And this is... When I got done and I was going back, I had like 20 stitches left and I only had a little bit of yarn. So I started decreasing more rapidly.
You had yarn chicken.
I was playing yarn chicken and I thought I was going to lose. So I ended up with this much yarn because instead of knitting 2 together you decrease together. Instead of decreasing the amount that they said, I added 1 more. So, like if you knit 3 together, I knit 4 together. To make it more rapid so that I definitely wouldn't run out of yarn because I knew I needed enough to do the bind off. So I probably didn't need to start rapidly decreasing that soon. But when you look at it, you can't tell that that's what I did. It would be on this side. You can't tell at all. You can't tell.
No, but I want to take a look at the difference between you doing knit.
They look the same.
Slightly different, but I mean...
It's basically the same.
Yeah.
But I like this. You can see where you have to decrease to do the short rows. To make the second side. It makes a ridge there. I like the side that doesn't have the obvious ridge. think it looks more blendy. See? Side I like. Side I don't like. So I wear mine like this. But I think it's a matter of taste.
Yeah, because I kind of like the look of that.
You like the ridge?
I do.
But I think this was so fun to knit. You literally had to read like the first instruction to knit the first half, like once. Knit the whole thing.
Very simple.
And then you needed to see how you were doing the second half once and just do the whole thing. It was so mindless.
Oh.
That's for you. It's so mindless. I have another one upstairs. I got to give it to you before you go. It was so mindless and so, like, it's garter, so simple that it was good, relaxing knitting that I could just watch TV and do. And it was quick. It took me less than a week to knit this. This would be a great gift pattern. Like if you wanted to knit
something quick.
A gift quickly.
Yeah.
And you could do it in any yarn. It doesn't have to be in a gradient yarn. It could be in a semi-solid.
No, there's been variegated ones.
One.
There's actually been a person who knit in two different colors. One half was one color, one half was a second color. That looked good too.
There are a lot of different ways you could use this. I just think it's really cool. Thank
flexible.
you, Katie D, for sending me that.
Yeah, she said she might do one similar to mine where it was
a gradient.
Well, she said variegated, but this isn't a variegated yarn.
No, it's
gradient.
It's a gradient. What is the yarn music? Okay, sorry, I'm just talking to myself. I think this is already in my show notes, but I'm trying to get the show notes written. Oh, by the way, if anybody's wondering why my hair looks so fabulous, because I went to the hairdresser this afternoon. My hair never looks good. And my hair looks good one day a month, the day that I come home from the hairdresser.
Mine looks good when I start my day, but when I have to take on and off precautions all the time, my hair tends to just get a little frizzy.
So that's it for my
Rate Your Date.
Rate Your Date. And Whirlwind Romance, I don't have Spinning Whirlwind, but I am going to show you my progress from last week. So, as you know, I'm trying to finish up the sampler, and all I have left on the whole thing is this corner.
Well, you should be able to do that tonight,
Oh,
yes? No?
Well, this part takes a lot of work because it's big. This I should be able to finish tonight. This should be a couple of days, but I will definitely be able to finish this sampler before the 15th.
So what else do you have to do?
The other one I have, I just need to do the flowers on here. This should take me like an hour. It's not a lot of work. So I did spend a lot of time doing that this week to try to get caught up because I have all of my supplies now. These are all of the colors that I'm going to be using for the Frosted Pumpkin sampler. And this is the Ada cloth.
Oh, wow.
And it's hand dyed. It's called Storm. It's pretty.
Is that what they recommended, the
yes,
color?
This is the color that you're supposed to use. You don't have to use this color. You could do anything. And I found out afterwards from Jess, who is Stitched by Jessalou, who is the reason that I'm doing this, because she did one last year. And I kind of wanted to do it last year, but I didn't know if I would be able to stick to a project,
right.
So I wanted to do something less expensive. I think that cost me like $6 to buy the download. Really? This is like more of a commitment. The pattern is like $17.95, and
but you get a different clue each month.
You get a clue every month. This cost with shipping about $11, and these cost me about $11 or $12 to get all the colors. So it was I didn't end up paying the $48 that I would have paid if I had sourced my materials
through them
online. But if you do the very top of the line stuff that they recommend, the hand dyed, over dyed silks and everything, it costs more. I'm not that fancy. I'm cheap, especially since my boiler, my hot water heater. I'm cheap, so. I'm really excited to see how it goes. I think it'll be a lot like doing a mystery knit along where you just have to do a little bit each month.
Well, is it going to be the same setup as the last one where it was a monthly, Do you remember what it was last month?
It was Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, but it was every month. January, is that how it's going to be too?
Yep, and it's famous characters from literature. So each month is a framed picture, a picture frame with a character inside it. You don't know what they're going to be, but
okay,
you will find out.
Will it have like October?
It won't say October in it, but it will be very like segregated so that you're doing, like a small part of it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And yeah, that came out so pretty.
Because it looks so big when you see people do it. But
that's not really that big.
No, that's why I'm wondering. That's why I'm curious to know. But I suppose you would have to have, well, here's a pretty good example of size.
Yeah. So it's a small portion of it every month, and I think that'll be very doable as long as I keep up with it.
Right.
So we'll see if it happens, because, Jess is still finishing hers up, and it's January, so.
Yeah, I think she's on
the last one, I think.
Is it?
I don't know, I think so.
No, she just finished October. She's got November and December left. Better hurry, Jess.
Better hurry. But I'm excited about it. What I learned from Jess that I didn't know is that I could have gotten that Aida cloth. I mean, I knew I could have gotten either linen or Aida. I prefer the Aida because it's a lot easier to see where to make your stitches. Linen, I think you have to be a lot more advanced to use linen. That's just my opinion. But I could have gotten sparkle Aida that had like sparkle in it.
Oh.
Jess did sparkle for hers. You can't tell. Her old one.
No, you can't.
One. But I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could get sparkle. I would have gotten sparkle. But I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. So
it'll be fun.
That is my Whirlwind Romance update.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Future dates, Sheila.
Finish what I have and cast on a pair of socks for my oldest son. My oldest. I have two from X. I'm actually looking forward to it. Want to do the toes? I'll have to. I think I have one skein of it's patent Croy. I don't remember the color. It was a color that I actually didn't think he'd go for, but he actually did go for. And I have one skein of that and black, so I'm going to break that in half before I even cast on so that I know exactly how much yarn I have. And then I'll do that with the color and then knit whatever I don't have with black. Because these are size 11 feet. And I'm glad he picked stripe because usually striping will go fast. You know what I mean? Because you want to see the next stripe,
Right, I like striping.
And I did look at his feet where I'm a size 64.
Yeah.
He's got narrower feet than me. So I will probably still do a size 64.
Yeah.
But at least I don't have to do wider than 64.
Just longer.
Just a little longer. Maybe, another inch and a half or so longer?
Yeah, that won't be so bad.
No, it won't be bad. So, yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But you know what? With the temperature, who knows?
I know, seriously.
I could be making
the weather is crazy.
A muck-a-luck for me, for Pete's sakes. One of my co-workers left. Muck-luck is one of those big hats, right?
Yeah.
She was leaving today with one of those on. I'm like, really? Really? It's not that bad. So,
autocorrect, I hate you.
Oh, I know. A little side note. So, this year I knitted the Tanhouse Brook shawl.
Yeah.
And I knitted in the Gypsy Girl Creations.
Yeah.
I don't remember what colorway I did it in. But I ended up giving it away to a coworker as part of her Secret Santa gift from me. And she said to me on Monday, I worked with her on Monday, she goes, I left it at a patient's house. I go, what? She does home visits. And I don't even have it here. Did I not? Oh, here it is.
I can't believe that. Can she get it back?
Oh, no, she already got it back. She got it back today. It's a patient she sees either every week or every other week. I knit it in the Twisted Loop colorway. And I told her, I said, well, I'm going to try and remember tomorrow. Hopefully she'll have it with her. I got to take a picture because I don't have a picture of it finished.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to take a picture of it. She goes, you want me to model for it? I said, if you want to, that's fine. But So I'm like looking at her. She goes, I know, but I can get it again. Like, you only get one. If you lose it, it's...
People who lose hand knits are not knit worthy in the future.
No.
FYI. It's a rule.
Except for kids. They're always knit worthy.
Well, kids are a different... Kids, you're partially responsible for your children not losing things when they're of a certain age.
I was going to say, at this point, it's all my kids now.
When they're of a certain age, the parents are partially responsible.
Yes.
Once they get to, like, the 5th or 6th grade,
so then my boss says that she goes, I'll buy you the yarn if you could knit me one like that too. I'm like, yeah, if you want. I said, it's wool. And she's like, oh, no. So I showed her this.
Yeah.
I said, how's that feel? She goes, oh, that's nice and soft. I said, that's wool.
Yeah.
She has the old version of wool in her head. I'm like, what I knit for her was wool too. She goes, really? I said, yeah, it's not the same old wool.
It's not your grandmother's wool.
No, it's not.
It's not even the wool of your childhood.
No, and I was trying to tell her that, so we'll see.
My future date is the Busilla Christmas stocking that I showed you.
Did you read some of the comments?
I did, and I'm going to talk about that. So,
Sorry.
People were talking about it. Number one, yes, you can do intarsia in the round. Sort of. It's not exactly like regular intarsia because... Well, it is exactly like regular intarsia, but you're not exactly knitting in the round. You're going to go back and forth and link the two ends as you go, and it saves you having to seam it up at the end. And I'm going to see how I found 3 different ways people have joined the ends. So I'm going to try them all and see which one looks the best. And if I don't like the way that it looks, then I will just cast on an extra stitch on either side and knit that part of the stocking flat and then seam it.
Okay.
But I am modifying the pattern. I am going to knit the pattern toe up. I'm going to knit the pattern with a short row heel. I'm not doing a gusseted heel. And I'll just use the chart to knit the leg of the stocking. The chart is written for 61 stitches, so I'm going to add 3 stitches of green to it to make it a 64, since that's my usual sock. Just
worsted weight, correct?
Yeah, it's actually this is sport weight. I'm knitting mine in worsted weight, but it doesn't matter. So the Christmas stocking can be whatever.
No, but how tight? I mean, obviously you're not going to knit it tight like it's a sock because it's not meant to be worn as a sock.
I'll knit it with whatever needles you use for worsted weight.
Well, that could be different. This is size 7.
Well, I'll just use whatever it says on the Red Heart package. I don't have...
You'll use whatever's next to you, let's be honest.
Let's just say that, am I going to swatch for this project? No. Do I care if it's loosely knit? No.
No, this is
Do
just
I care if it's tightly knit? No. It's only going to be used one day a year.
Now, I have to find that funny that his name
I know.
His name's already on it.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. So, but I have all the stuff, and I actually went out. There are some really good tutorials for how to do intarsia in the round. I have not actually knit true intarsia where you use the bobbins. Since I was like 17 or 18. Yeah. It's been a really long time. So I went online to refresh myself on how to do it, and I also went online because I knew there are ways to do it on projects that are in the round.
Well, a quick question on that. The surfer socks?
Mm-hmm. Stitch surfer.
How is that done? Because I don't want to say it's intarsia, but...
You got to connect it a certain way. Yeah. So, yeah. I saw a couple of different videos, a couple of different ways to do it. My mom obviously knit my sock flat and seamed it together because that's how the instruction was. But that just seems fiddly to me. The way that you have to do the heel, I was like, what? I can't even understand this.
Well, see, I can see doing it in the round up until the point where you get into the pattern.
That's what I'm going to do. And I'll probably do intarsia in the round, connect it that way. But if I don't like after the first couple of rows, if I don't like the way that the join looks, I'll mess around with it a bit. And then if I have to, I'll just knit it flat and mattress stitch it together. I'll just cast on like a extra stitch so that I can seam that in so that I can do mattress stitch. And you won't really notice the seam in that.
No, because again, it's just...
And I'm adding a couple of extra stitches to the leg, and I'll just add some more green, so there'll be more green in between. I'm like, 61 stitches. That's a really odd number of stitches for a sock that starts out with 8 stitches in the toe. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough. It's not like it has an uneven number of stitches.
Does it go up?
You increase the 8 stitches up to 61.
But I'm wondering if they're doing the one for the seaming allowance type of deal. Although it would be too.
You need to do it. Does not make it makes no sense. Apparently, if you're seaming it together, nobody cares. Busilla didn't care. I don't know. I read the whole pattern through. It makes no sense to me to do it that way. They also do the name at the top in
duplicate
stitch, and I'm like, really? I'll just do it in Intarsia. If I had to do this whole thing in Intarsia, why wouldn't I just do that in Intarsia?
Well, not in Intarsia, but not Fairline.
I don't want to carry it all the way around. But I'll just do the letters in Intarsia. I'll just carry it back and forth across the whole thing and do color work just on the front by attaching the ends in Intarsia. Like, I just don't understand why you wouldn't do it that way. Mm-hmm. It seems way more fiddly to do duplicate stitch. But I can bet you $1,000,000 my mom did duplicate stitch. But she did this when it was actually a kit. Like, it came with everything.
Right.
I'm more like taking this pattern that somebody put on the internet and I sourced all the stuff for it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to do one in January. I want to try to get them both done while it's still cold out because I can tell that this will not be interesting to me to knit in the summer. No. And I don't want to have to be doing it in the fall, and have pressure to get it done. I kind of want to get them done right up front. But it cannot take that long to knit a worsted weight stocking.
Well, my socks took 4 weeks, but that's because I didn't have the time.
How many stitches were in this hat when you cast it on?
96.
Okay, so it's not even, I'm only getting up to 64 stitches. So that won't be so bad.
No, not at all.
And it'll be kind of fun because the Intarsia part I'm kind of looking forward to. I went out and I bought Intarsia bobbins. If anybody doesn't know what they are, I'll show you because I put them right here. They look like this. And you wrap the yarn on them.
You're just doing it for any reason to purchase something.
Yeah, because my whole life I've been dying to buy a set of Intarsia bobbins. It's been my life's goal. They look like this. I'm excited. I'm excited to do something that I haven't done before or haven't done
in a long time.
I've never knit Intarsia in the round. I've never done that before. And I've not knit, like I said, I did a Vogue ski sweater with Intarsia in it when I was like 17 or 18. And that was the last time I had bobbins, colorwork bobbins. And I didn't even start that sweater. My mom started it for me, and she hated it, so I knit it.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if I ever actually finished it. I don't know what. But it had a lot of, it had something like 20 or 30 bobbins going.
I will state right now that will be something I will never,
I find
ever
it interesting.
do.
This isn't as bad. Most of the color work is in a big chunk, right? So there's not going to be quite so many bobbins.
No, obviously not. But I'm saying 20 or 30, never in my life will I probably ever do that.
It had a lot of ski people. It was like blue, and it had little skiers all over the hill, and little trees, and snowflakes in white, and every single little thing had a bobbin. When you turned, it was knit flat, obviously. When you turned it around, there were all these things.
Oh, I can't even imagine what it looked like.
It was pretty, but I don't think, I'm not sure. I don't remember what happened to it. But that's the last time I was in college. Must have been 19 or 20. I was in college.
I was going to say, I really don't see a 17-year-old trying that, but
well, I don't know. I used to do color work when I was younger than that. Color work's
different, though.
Not too much different.
A little bit. I mean, you're bringing it all the way around.
But, I mean, it's still, you're knitting with more than one color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knit socks when I was younger. And mittens. I used to knit mittens all the time. So
yeah, I knit them. So that, to me, doesn't...
I was a fearless knitter. I would knit whatever. Like, I knit a cabled sweater when I was in...
It's funny because now it's like I did all of that stuff. I've done cables. I've done color work. Now I'm at that stage, and it's probably because of my job and just needing to be blah when I'm knitting. It's completely mindless. It has to be mindless for me. It's the only way I can survive right now.
But yeah, I would knit very advanced stuff, especially if I did a lot of stuff where my mom would be like, I can't stand this anymore. I'd be like, let me try it. Like, it's like doing a crossword puzzle or something. I like doing technical stuff because I find it's like doing Sudoku or a crossword. I find it interesting.
I can do those.
Right. So that's how I feel about knitting. I like that challenge. I like challenge.
And I did. I mean, I've done that. I've done it's funny because when you look at classes, you're like, yeah, I can do that, can do that, can do that. Yeah, all right. I just, at this moment in my life, choose not to because my mind...
No, I hear you. But back then, I had free time, baby.
Right.
I was in high school and college.
Free time
if it was
not
winter
bad.
break or the summer, I had my little job or whatever, but I had lots of free time. So, yeah, I did. That's right. I did an intarsia sweater for my husband when I was in college, too, but he lost it. That was the one he lost.
Yeah.
It was not good. Not good at all. That's why he's no longer knitworthy. So, that's my only future date. I don't know. I need to... When I get the Christmas stockings on, I'm going to go into my whip basket and find something and either finish it or frock it. That's going to be my other project when I start these stockings, because I know I'm going to need something small along with, because this is clearly not something I'm going to be taking places with me if I've got bobbins and all sorts of crap. So
you're going to need to have a mindless knit. Or something to that effect.
A small project. So it'll either be one of the shawls that I have that's not insanity beadwork lace, or it'll be, or I'll cast on another pair of socks out of something that I ripped out. Depends on what's in my whip basket. I can't remember what I have left now.
Well, it's funny. All right, I'll talk about this in the Crushes and Heartbreaks.
Baubles and Bling.
Got nothing.
I got one thing. I showed you a preview of it last week. I can't remember why on God's green earth I was looking at yarn for sale, but I was looking.
Because you need more, don't you know that?
And I found this self-striping yarn on Neeleysknits. I'm trying to get it so you can see it. There you go. Neeleysknits. It's www.neeleysknits on Etsy. This is Winter Rainbow. It's so pretty. 400 yards, merino nylon, 8 color repeat. And when I saw this, they showed it as separate skeins all together.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And when I saw the colors, they're just unusual. Like, they're muted. I thought it looked really pretty. So, and it was a very good price. I thought for self-striping yarn, it was a relatively low price. So I thought I'd try it out. The base looks like something that I'll enjoy knitting with. It has some twist to it. So we'll find out. But this is it. I think it's going to be pretty. And I love that it has 8 colors. I like it when there are a ton of colors.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You're like, what's coming next? So yeah, but Lord knows I did not need another skein of self-striping yarn. I think my next socks that I cast on are going to be the sock yarn that Sheila got me for Christmas.
Oh, the white birch?
Yeah. This is what I'm going to cast on next.
Would certainly qualify with that hot pink.
There you go. Pink or red. It's pink or red. So, yeah. But that was my Neeleysknits. So if you haven't heard, probably everybody knows about this person, but they're on Etsy, and I thought the prices were really good, and the yarn feels like it's really nice. So check it out.
It'll be fun.
Crushes and Heartbreaks.
Crushes and Heartbreaks. I really don't have that much, but it was funny. I'm just mentioning this. So one of my crushes, and I've been using them a lot lately, is these interchangeable needles that we were gifted by Lise. And
I have a sad story about mine.
Oh.
Remind me to tell you when you're done.
So for this hat, I started off, I think, with size... It was actually kind of funny. So I didn't really, when I first started this hat, I didn't plan on doing this hat. I just wanted to do a hat. So I started off with what I thought was size 8s. Apparently I had one size 9 and one size 8. I'm like, well, there's the hazards of interchangeable. And my size 9 was on my working needles, so it was actually bigger than it should have been. So once I realized I did that, I changed it to size 8. I'm like, okay, that works well too. But I realized it needed to go down one more. And that's when I decided to do the beanie. But I'm looking at my little case because I haven't changed it yet. And I'm like, where are all my needles? I get very obsessive sometimes about my needles. Like, where are they? I have to know where they are.
Yeah.
OCD. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh, all right, there it is. There. I got them all accounted for. Because it's like, this is such a nice gift to me. I want to make sure that I don't lose my interchangeable needles. And so, yeah, it was kind of like a crush and a heartbreak. I love these. I'm so happy that I have a set. And, you know, if I wanted him to try this on, I could just put a...
stopper, yeah.
Not even so much a stopper, but change to a longer needle. Mm-hmm. Because... you know, you can't really try it on this way.
No.
I mean, you can and you can't. But it's just the versatility of it is kind of nice. Trying to think what other crushes and heartbreaks. I had a really nice vacation week without working. My coworkers ticked me off today, but that's because, you know, people don't want to work. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy my job, but I think sometimes you don't get appreciated. I think you're going to find that no matter where you are, though.
Yes, you will. There, in every workplace, there are the
in
busy
life
beavers,
in general.
the slackers, and
well,
the people in the middle.
one of my coworkers, she saw that I was getting frustrated, and I've come to realize that I get very upset if I think things aren't fair. And I don't know how to control my emotions on that. Even if it's involving my kids, I get upset if I find that somebody's not being fair or equal. So for some reason today I was getting upset about that because there was somebody who's hiding behind the door texting, and I'm like, really? Really? And then somebody's complaining that they were tired. I'm like, we all got up early. I mean, granted, they get up and they're at work an hour before me because that's my schedule and I'm to do a certain place. So they do a lot more draws than I do. I understand that. But, you know, come the end of the morning, it does not mean you wash your hands and do no more.
Right. Because
you're there for 8 hours just like me.
Shift.
I may not do the quantity that they do because of where I go to draw when I first get there. But when I'm done drawing, I go and help the floors.
Right. You don't just
no, I don't just sit there.
Say I'm done.
Yeah. So I was getting very upset, and one of my coworkers who's fairly new, and this is the one who I thought was my age and found out is like 10 years older than me. Yeah. I'm like, wow. She, just gave me a little hug and said, it's fine. And then today sometimes you need this. You just need the acknowledgement that, yes, you're doing a hard job. Or you're doing a good job. I can see that you're working hard.
You're working hard, yeah.
And she said that, she goes, I saw that you were running around today. This is just a coworker, so it makes me feel good that she acknowledges that.
Right.
And even though she's same level as me, it's not going to go anywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that someone acknowledging me other than the same people who keep. It's like, I don't know.
When I first left my job as an attorney, that was the hardest thing for me to deal with, that I never got any positive feedback about all the work I was doing at home.
Yeah, because you don't.
In my law office, it's not like people went around saying, oh, you're an awesome attorney. But, I would close cases.
Right.
And
good job on that case.
I would win cases. I would close cases. I would constantly be like I had a high case closure record. Right. So I knew I was doing a good job. My boss knew I was doing a good job. She would give me responsibility on things. And I got that feedback. And I remember saying to my husband, do you understand how hard, I would clean the house with the infant and toddler, and my husband would come home and say, I thought you were going to do all the laundry. And I'd be like, do you know how hard it was for me to get this done? Well, without noticing anything.
On a side note, have you seen, there's a commercial out there, and I'm not sure what it's for, but the husband comes in and says, what happened? What did you do all day? The place is a pit.
Yeah.
And she goes, you know how you ask me that question all the time and the house is really clean and stuff? She goes, today I didn't do any of that. This is what it looks like. This is what I did not do all day. And it's kind of the truth, because as a mother or anyone who takes care of a house, it is very underappreciated. And it's just like anyone else, we always want a pat on the back to show the appreciation, whether it's in life at home or whether it's in work.
And
it's human nature.
When you're a stay-at-home parent, it's hard for the working parent to understand how much work you actually did, because in my husband's head, I'm lounging on the couch watching television all day. But in reality, I hardly ever get a chance to sit down until after 4 p.m., I'd say, because I have stuff I have to do. Like,
Right.
my life I don't just lounge around. I have, like, things I got to do. Shopping, cleaning, errands. It's, like, a lot of stuff, so. But, yeah, everybody wants to be acknowledged.
Right, and I was getting that from a coworker. But it also is like, it seems another coworker and I were talking, it seems like it's deteriorated lately, and we're not sure why. A lot of people are out sick. We understand that. It is the time of year. It's just, it's been rough. And, I might just stay for a little bit of time, get some experience, and look around again. Who knows? I mean, but again, no matter where you go, you're going to get the same.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get people.
I've told
and
Sheila,
some of it's a generational thing, too.
I've told Sheila, even at my job, which I adored, there were the people that were the busy beavers that worked really hard and didn't complain. There were, like, people that were kind of just doing what they needed to do. They weren't slacking off. But they weren't going above and beyond.
Right.
And then there were people who were slackers. And it's true of every workplace. And there were two of us that were very high producers who used to get so frustrated because the management's response to that was to pile more work on the people that went above and beyond because they knew it would get done.
Right.
And less work on the slackers. And so it just made the divide even greater.
It is. It gets very frustrating.
Yes.
Oh,
So, and I think it's just true of every workplace. And it's especially hard if you're the one who's going above and beyond.
Right. I mean,
because
my
it
boss
makes you feel
acknowledges
resentful. It makes you feel resentful
It
to
does.
people that are slacking off.
And, I'm not the type to see a patient's paperwork sit there and just let it sit there. It's not my style. But, of course, my coworker's saying, Sheila, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. It doesn't involve you. It's not your problem. And it's not. And I got to let it go. And I'm getting better at it. Like, this afternoon turned out to be a better day because I did let it go. Because there's certain people there that are good workers, and I know that.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you just tend to hang out around them. So
Right.
you just stay away from the people. And
the only time it really got to me is if I had to cover somebody who was out and deal with things going on in their caseload.
Right.
And then I would open the file up and be like,
what?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
because even for that one day that you were out,
I have to do extra work because they are doing the minimum. And in order, whatever came up is something that requires, and I'm stuck with it. That used to make me very angry.
I mean, granted, the only thing that I ever get stuck with is drawing a patient that maybe, somebody could have helped out on or whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so bad, but it gets frustrating no matter what. But I do like the job. I love the patients. I really do like dealing with the patients. Some of them are really sweet. Some of them not so much. But that's
like
customer
life.
service. It's customer service. And you're going to get that no matter what. And my little heartbreak, I keep getting emails from the Blue Moon Rock and Sock Club.
And you really want to join?
I really want to join this year.
You should.
But look at how much it is. So this year is their 10th anniversary. And if you do the 10th anniversary edition, you get a couple extra bonuses. If you don't, you get this bag by a person. And I'm just so tempted, but that money... I don't need any more Blue Moon. And the colors are exclusive to club members only. I don't need any more Blue Moon. B, I don't need any more yarn.
I think you should do it.
The reason I'm thinking of it.
Treat yourself.
Well, the reason I'm thinking of it is I did get a bonus at work.
I think that's what a bonus is meant for.
So I have until I don't know when to sign up.
I think you need to do it.
So I don't know. We'll
My
see.
advice to you. So is that it for your crushes and heartbreaks?
Yeah. I keep drooling, so pardon me as I wipe my drool.
So I had some crushes and heartbreaks this week. My number one heartbreak is that on New Year's Day, we noticed that the seam of our hot water heater was split open and the tank was bulging out. That is not good. If you go online about bulging hot water tank, it tells you a lot of scary things.
Oh, I'm sure.
So the upshot was we turned it off so that it wasn't heating up water anymore, and therefore if there was any pressure in the tank, it wasn't building up. And the next day we had it replaced for a cool $1,200 that we don't have to spend. I mean, we have the money, but we were going to use it to do some work on the house. So we need to get more money from our savings to do the work that we were going to do on the house. It's just a pain. And it was, the good news was that day I went to meet with our friend Tara. So I was out with Tara and her kids, and Jim was home.
The day after.
It was the second, January 2nd. Okay. January 1st is when we discovered it.
Okay.
Nobody could come on January 1st.
No, of course not.
January 2nd.
Unless you wanted to pay an arm and a leg.
And we discovered it at 5:30 in the evening. Nobody was coming. We did talk to the emergency plumber guy. January 2nd is when we had the replacement done. And I was out all day with our friend Tara and her kids and my kids, so I didn't have to be here for any of that, which was really nice. So my husband could see what it's like to be sitting there, and they keep coming up. We're going to have to add another $100 under the bill because you have crazy plumbing. Can't tell you how many. I have crazy plumbing.
No, I know that, but did they do that?
It was going to be $1,100. It ended up being $1,200 because we have crazy plumbing, which we know. Because every time the plumber comes in, they're like, who did this plumbing? And I'm like, it wasn't us. It was Crazy Jim, the man that used to own this house. And we have crazy electricity and crazy plumbing. You never pay the quote because there's always something that's really wrong. So a lot of it's been fixed by now. But the last time we had our hot water heater installed after the flood, they told me I had crazy plumbing, but they worked with it. And I knew that that was a different plumber. I knew that our newer plumber would not work with the crazy plumbing. And who knows? Maybe the crazy plumbing is why my hot water heater, bulged out. Yeah. I don't even know. So that was heartbreak number 1. Heartbreak number 2 is that I have an appointment at the end of the month to meet with a medical oncologist to discuss my risks and benefits of cancer prevention medication. Doesn't mean I'm going to have to do it, but it just means that I'm going to talk and find out what options there are for cancer prevention, what kind of drugs there are, what kind of procedures I might have, and what my personal risk is. And they probably will do some genetic testing on me, but because I have precancerous cells in both sides, I can't not do this. I have to have a consultation. So, and my husband's going to come with me and listen to everything. So, it is what it is. It might end up being that they don't recommend me taking anything, just like my surgeon doesn't recommend it. So, it's not like I'm worried about it. And frankly, after 2 surgeries in 13 months, whatever they tell me to do that's best for me, I'm just going to do it. Yeah. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to do it because it's not just me. It's my whole family that's involved if I don't take care of my health. Right. So that's my other heartbreak. My crush was I had a fun time with my friend and her kids. We went to Framingham to Fun and Games.
Oh my gosh.
It's still there.
I know it's still there.
Her husband used to work there.
I used to go there. I went to school at Framingham.
Her husband used to work there. I bet you money that you went there.
Oh, I'm sure. Because my husband, we went there. Actually, my brother, he lives in Framingham. And his girls had a birthday party there not too long ago. And I'm like, oh my God, my husband and I are in there reminiscing. We're like, oh my God, it's changed so much.
Well, I used to go to school in that area because we're at college. So,
a couple towns over.
So I was, reminiscing about the area and how much it's changed.
Do you remember the clubs that used to be up there?
Yes. Yep.
And Shoppers World. That area has changed so much.
Shoppers World. If somebody blindfolded me and dropped me off at Shoppers World, I would never know it was Shoppers World.
It was the first mall.
It was, and it used to be like a square with a courtyard that looked up to the sky.
It used to be open. All the shops you had to access by outdoors.
Outdoors. They were lined up like a strip mall, but in a square, and the outside was like a courtyard. And my dad used to take me there every Christmas, and we'd shop in the mall, and then we'd go to the deli upstairs on the 2nd floor and have dinner. I loved the deli. And the deli actually moved. It's farther down on Route 9.
Oh, okay.
So, but now, like I said, if somebody blindfolded me and dropped me off there and said, tell me where you are, I would
well, even the Natick Mall.
Basically toward the Natick Mall, too.
Was never, the Natick Mall used to be one of those small one-level malls.
Right.
So what they ended up doing is, I can only equate it to Woburn Mall.
Right.
Or even the Liberty
It's
Tree
like
Mall.
taking one of those and building it up.
Well, not only did they build it up as in 2 levels, but they took it was Sears was one and say Macy's was another.
Yeah.
I can't, not even Macy's. It would have been Jordan Marsh at that time. They took Jordan Marsh and everything in between Sears, tore it down, and extended it.
Extended it and made it huge. And now it's like you go in there and it's like fancy and shiny.
It's now the Natick Collection. It's not even the Natick Mall. It's the Natick Collection. It's got Nordstrom's. It's got...
I'm just going to tell you, I went there at Christmas, in December. Sorry, not at Christmas. In December, a couple of years ago, the American Girl store.
Might as well shoot yourself.
That was a hell. Just that. And then we went in the mall afterwards to do some shopping, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't crowded or anything, but it was so huge. I said to my mother, I am going to just be honest with you, I'm never shopping at this mall again.
I can't tell you the last time.
I hate that mall.
I can't tell you the last time I've actually been to the Natick Collection. My sister-in-law lives in Natick. My brother lives in Framingham. We were driving. We were meeting my sister somewhere in Natick, sister-in-law in Natick, and we had to drive by the mall. And it took us like 20 minutes just to get by the mall. Anywhere else, no problems.
I know.
Route 9 in that area has shops beyond shops.
Right.
But just getting past the mall was a nightmare. But fun and games, oh my God, that's fun and games. So funny.
And then we had lunch at Outback, and it was super fun. So next time we do this, you have to come too.
Yeah, we ended up, on a side note, on Friday, I ended up taking my kids to Sky Zone.
I know. We want to do Sky Zone with you
Well,
guys.
let me just tell you Sky Zone, my experience about that one. That was kind of funny. So we happened to find it. Sky Zone opened up a couple of years ago, but there was only one location in Everett.
Sky Zone is where they have trampolines.
It's an indoor trampoline park, they call it. So we were going there. Me and Zachary were going there because he was invited to a birthday party. It happened to be near my husband's work. So we were going to the Liberty Tree Mall, which is up at Danvers. And I don't know, sometimes we like going to that mall because it's not a big mall. And it's got a lot of little stores, but that's changed recently too.
They made a huge Michael's. Have you seen how big the Michael's is?
No, but just meaning Liberty Tree Mall has changed.
They've added a bunch of stuff.
Well, what used to be Sports Authority is now Sky Zone.
Yeah.
So they changed it around, and my husband's like, let have the kids jump. So they jumped for about an hour, and so I said to my kids, I'll bring you back. So we ended up going back there. We do have a place near me. It's called Altitude, which is very similar. But we went to Sky Zone because you have to purchase socks.
Yeah.
We already purchased the socks. We didn't want to purchase more socks. So you can bring those socks back and forth. Like you can reuse them. And we did. So we go up there a little after 11, and everything was sold out until 2. So we bought the 2 o'clock tickets, and we just spent the rest of the time there in the mall. And I was thinking of driving to the North Shore, which is a larger mall, maybe a mile and a half away, because you can get through it another way. I had good parking. I didn't want to lose my parking. I didn't want to fight mall, because it's during school vacation.
Yeah.
So we just found some time to, we just stayed there and just looked around and had lunch and just took our time. But 3 hours waiting? We waited 3 hours to get into Sky Zone, and then once the kids were in Sky Zone, I sat around again because I wasn't going to be doing it. Knowing me, I'd break something. But it was fun. But yeah, I would definitely. They definitely need to have more kids there. It's like they had fun, but it would have been better with friends.
Yeah, we have to do that sometime.
Yeah, maybe in February.
We were initially, Tara and I were gonna do like a jump on in type place. And I actually went so far as to give my credit card number to book us a slot in the open jump. And then they told me it's for 7 and under. I was like, oh, then only one of our children could actually go. So I canceled that. And that's when we ended up at Fun and Games. But they had a really good time.
Fun and Games is fun. It's got laser tag.
Laser tag. They didn't play laser tag, but they played skee ball and all the games. And then we pooled all of our tickets together and split them. So every kid had like 100 tickets to buy a prize because Jack won some like huge bonus thing. So that
jackpot.
Jackpot. Jack won the jackpot. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any crushes.
That was a crush.
I guess that was a crush. Tara and her kids, we had fun, and my kids got along great with her kids. Good. So that was super fun.
Yeah. How old are her kids?
Her son is the same age as Jack, and her daughter is 4, I think.
See, Max probably wouldn't have had a good time at that point.
Well, Lily had fun playing with the little girl.
But I'm
4.
saying Max, who's older.
Max, but
see, that's where I'm running into with your kids. Not so much because Max and Jack get along well and they've known each other. But when you're introducing newer kids, it's difficult for him because he's almost in the adult stage. But if he went to a place like yeah, I would have broke
fun and games.
He would have broke my bank.
Yeah, well, we bought $20. We each bought $20 worth of tokens, divided them up between our kids, and then whatever tickets they won, we put them in one bag and we split them up. So everyone had a good time, and then we had yummy lunch at Outback because all the Outbacks near me have been closed. So it's nice when I get to go. Medford's gone.
No, I'm thinking of Burlington, but I haven't been in.
I try not to go to Burlington.
I know,
anymore.
Heaven forbid, that stuff's like,
It's so
it's in the
crowded.
boondocks.
It's not the location so much as the crowds.
It is, because for some reason Burlington is always crowded. I think it's because it's in that plaza area.
Although,
you know why? Because Burlington is a high industrial.
Yeah, it's crazy.
High industrial
Burlington
town.
Mall. I like the Burlington Mall. Don't get me wrong. I hate going there because it's like
it's not in the Burlington Mall.
Oh, no. But I mean, but I don't go to the Burlington Mall very rarely because it's so crowded in the parking lot.
We go to Sears when we go parking, and I usually have no problem.
Well, I usually park in this little side lot that's like, where Cheesecake Factory is?
Yeah.
It's like a side lot that's across the road. I usually park there because it's easy in, easy out, and I don't have to, drive through the thing.
Yeah, so we just go to Sears to park at the Burlington Mall whenever we go there.
But the parking lot's always jammed.
Yeah, it is.
And I only ever go there. I only ever go to Burlington if I have to go to L.L. Bean. That's the only time I really go there. Because I just prefer the North Shore Mall. It doesn't seem to get quite as crowded as Burlington does.
Well, it's funny. As many times as we've gone to Liberty Tree Mall, we never go to the North Shore Mall. Don't know why.
North Shore is definitely my preferred mall.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not any different than Burlington. It's just
my
husband doesn't like
They've made it much bigger. They've added a bunch of stuff to it and everything.
They probably have a Nordstrom there, too, or whatever.
Yeah, they have a Nordstrom, and they have everything. Yeah. But
because it's all owned by the same people, Simon.
Yeah, Simon. It's a Simon.
Simon owns Collection, Burlington, Native Collection, Burlington, the North Shore Mall. They probably own malls all across the country.
Square One.
Yeah, they probably own malls all across the country.
The mall that I go to most frequently is Square One because it's only 10 minutes from my house.
And I never go to Square One because it's further away.
Well, yeah, it would not be convenient.
No, it's not convenient to me.
I think I go to North Shore more frequently than Burlington too, in part because it's straight up on Route 1.
Right.
Whereas I have to kind of go in the opposite direction over to 95. Yeah, it's just easier, more just a straight shot.
And it's funny, if we go to Burlington, we're going to Barnes & Noble. We're not really going to the mall.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they had a Barnes & Noble over there.
They have a big one. I
know. I've been there before. Mm. They have a big one at the North Shore Mall now, too. A huge one.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, we never go to the North Shore Mall.
I just think it's so funny.
It's funny what malls you tend to go to.
We live 15 minutes apart, but we
but because it's where we live.
Because you're on the other side of 95. That's what it is. It's like I live over in the area where 93 and 1 are my thing.
Right, because there are times when we go up to Rockingham Mall, and that's in New Hampshire, where you would never think to go to Rockingham Mall.
No, because you're more like a 495, 95 person, and I'm more like a 93, 1 person, even though we live relatively close together. We just have this divide.
It's kind of like the snow divide.
Yeah. Oh, seriously.
It is. I tend to get more snow than you guys do.
Unless we have something that's like an ocean effect snow, in which case we're going to do it because we live closer to the coast than she does. But yeah, I can't remember where I was, but I was like, they got a ton of snow here. We got none.
Yeah.
Did you get snow yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, a side note, we've been talking quite a bit, but a side note is, so I was off yesterday, and my husband's like, are you going to go out? I'm like, yeah. I didn't step outside my door. And it started to snow and flurry. And so my car never got turned on. This morning when I tried to start it with the car starter, it wouldn't start. it hesitated when I started the car.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's because I didn't start it all day yesterday.
And it got too cold.
It did. Yeah. I'm hoping I'll be able to start it tomorrow.
Yesterday I went for a walk because I'm trying to rehab my heel. My heel's doing much better. I didn't go for a walk today because I was gone all day pretty much. But it was so cold that my cell phone stopped working during my walk. And I just couldn't believe that. This never happened to me before, but it happened again today when I was in my car before my car got heated up.
Well, it's funny because I was talking to Wendy. I take my iPad with me every day to work because I listen to an audiobook on my way to work. It's like 20 minutes. It's not a lot, but I listen to an audiobook. And sometimes I would leave it in the car just because it's heavy. I didn't want to take it to work. And I don't have any fears of anyone stealing it. But I'm like, oh, I'll just leave it. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to leave it in the car because it would get very cold.
It's really cold.
It's really cold. It's supposed to get down to the negative double digits
with
the wind chill here.
With wind chill.
Which I know some of you are like, yeah, so, well, for us, that's not normal.
It's very unusual for it to be that cold. We're also going to get snow tomorrow here. I don't know
but
about
it's going to be so light. Oh, yeah. We're not that far apart.
Well, sometimes,
no,
like, I get no snow and you get snow, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, we're supposed to get snow, but
not heavy snow.
No, not heavy snow, and I think it's not a lot of accumulation either.
I didn't look to see, but it's not anything, like, threatening. The thing that I have all my alerts for is temperature. We lost our power the other day. Jim was like, it was like 2 nights ago. Jim's like, this is not a good night to lose power because it was like 12 degrees outside. But they got it back on in an hour. 2 transformers blew up and like half the town was out.
I bet. So, yeah, and I bet you they worked hard on that one too.
They got it really
that wouldn't be an issue for us because we have a nice wood burning stove. We'd all be in one room, but it would be a nice wood.
Yeah, Jim's like, I want to look into a emergency backup battery just for the boiler. I'm like, that might be a good idea. Although we've only ever lost power like 4 times since I lived here. And one time was when we had the flood and we didn't really lose power so much as the fire department turned our electricity off so that nobody would get electrocuted by the 5.5 feet of water in our basement.
That might be a good idea.
And with that, gossip and innuendo.
I think we've done enough. This whole
if you
whole
made it this far, I don't even know. You deserve a present.
Is there anything happening in the knitting world? I don't think so.
The next thing that's coming up is Spa in February. And I need to start collecting my dates, and I'll put up the list of events like I do every year when I get around to it. But that's the only thing that's coming up. There's nothing right now that I know of in our area. I'm sure in other places. Vogue Knitting is sometime in New York.
Oh, I was going to say, isn't that in California? Or do they do one in California
they might.
or one in New York?
I have no idea. If it's not in New England area or Maryland sheep and wool, I don't even know about it.
If it's not in October, I don't pay attention. We were talking about that. You were talking about who would be able to go to Maryland with you.
Yeah, nobody's going to go to Maryland.
I can't afford that. I can only afford one, and I choose Rhinebeck.
I'm going to Maryland, even if I have to go by myself, because I really enjoyed it there.
I would like to. I just can't afford it. I do have a crush that's coming up in February. My husband's going to Vegas for a weekend.
And you're alone.
I got the kids, but...
No, I like it, because I get the whole bed when my husband's out of town. I sleep like this.
I'll probably have my kids.
Well, I hope you guys have a great week. Get knitting on your warm color
pink,
projects.
Red, yellow, orange.
Yep. And we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat place. Channel. Oh, bat channel.
Bat channel. It's funny you say that. I said those exact same words to a coworker today when I was leaving. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place.
Well, you know, I've been watching the Bat Man.
I know. That's probably why I mentioned it. But because she said, I'll see you tomorrow, same place. I'm like, same bat time, same bat channel. She's looking at me like, okay. And on that note, knit with heart.
Bye.